The biggest challenge that I've faced so far in teaching has most definitely been teaching during a pandemic. Not knowing if I was going to be in school tomorrow or out of school, not knowing if I was going to be sick or not, or if I was going to get the students that I teach or the people that I love sick. Some of the normal challenges that I have to face that were exacerbated by COVID-19 were communicating with parents, staff members, and community members. Trying to communicate the importance of music is something that I have to do every year, all the time. But during the pandemic, it added an extra level of difficulty to that. So figuring out how to get the music out to the public and how to get the performances for the students was those are the problems that I had to solve this year. So I solved some of these challenges in very creative ways. One of the ways was by doing a virtual concert. And this year we had students that were all virtual, students that were on an A schedule, and then students that were on a B schedule. So there was 3 separate groups of students. So we had to record each one of them separately and then record every one of the virtual students and mix them together in a track.
In the classroom, Mr. Smith is a professional. He proves this by balancing his career as a teacher with his working life as a professional trumpet player. This is an inspiration to all the students who maybe someday want to do the same thing with their life.
Always does his best to make sure the student is happy and to make sure that we get the best out of everything.
My teaching methodologies are simple. When you're in my class, you're a participant and you have a say. So I run a very democratic classroom where kids get a say in what we learn. I also would categorize my teaching methodology as cross-curricular. I like to teach a little bit of math, I like to teach a little bit of science, some foreign language, some history, anything that I can do to kind of connect the dots for the students, that's what I'm there to do. They come in with a wealth of experience and just life experience and knowledge from outside sources. So I want to figure out what that is and how we can use it to better all of our experience.
In fact, he is the only one of my former teachers that I still correspond with. And I feel like that's because I see him as more than that. He is the personification of humbleness and tenacity, living proof that hard work pays off.
I was sort of iffy about if Smith was going to stay in touch with me or if we wasn't going to have a relationship like we did in high school, but it stayed the same as it was in high school. But I just feel like that we're closer now because we see a different side of Smith than we would see in school.
I like to make a positive impact with my students by leading by example. When I got into teaching, I made sure that I was going to practice what I preach. And what I mean by that is that I still practice my instrument every day. I still play music and I'm still very involved with music throughout the community. So when I teach from that perspective. Like, this is something that you can take with you forever. And I want all of my students to do that. I also have used music to help students pay for college. I've got multiple students right now in school for music education and music performance. I even have former students in school for computer science but are collecting scholarship money for music. You don't have to be a music major to be in the marching band or to play in the pet band at the basketball games. These are the opportunities I try to hunt down for my students so that they can keep participating in music.